Hi, I'm Jen Gaskin. Thank you for joining me today as we talk again about cultivating hope in these uncertain times. We were talking last time about 6 movements of the spine, 6 simple things that we can do as a collective body of humanity to help develop and further our ability to make coordinated movements. The first of these 6 movements of the spine is the forward fold, spinal flexion. And in the forward fold, the body has the opportunity to calm the breathing and the heart rate, to grow focused and draw more inward. And in many ways, this COVID shutdown we are experiencing is like a massive aggregate forward fold in which the entire body of humanity has the opportunity to slow the breathing and allow the corporate pulse to come to a more measured pace. And this shutdown has been one of the most global corporate movements we've ever endeavored to make. And in many ways, it has been hugely successful. But it has also brought to the surface certain differences because some people will naturally gravitate toward keeping the restrictions to the letter of the law, while others are basically upholding the restrictions, but maybe more sporadically, and the whole time they're chafing against them and feeling the economic restrictions and wanting to return to an open society. So the question is, given these basic differences that we have, how can we nurture long-term hope for unity in this situation? I believe that the way the human body responds can teach us a lot about how to accommodate these differences. Because in the human body, different areas of the spine respond differently to the call for a forward fold. At the base of the spine, we have the sacrum, which is already in a forward folding orientation. As well, the thoracic spine at the back of the rib cage also has this forward folding architecture. One of the main functions for these areas of the body is to provide stability for the organs that they house, so that the lungs can breathe and the heart can pump in safety, and there's protection for the digestive and reproductive organs. And in the body, this restriction is very appropriate, because if these sacral vertebrae or thoracic vertebrae were to move more independently or in a greater range of motion, it would cause tremendous instability in the pelvis and in the rib cage area. So I liken these areas of the spine to people who will only make a move along with a larger group and then only very slightly. Between the sacrum and the thoracic vertebrae are the lumbar vertebrae, which can travel through a much greater range of motion in the forward fold, but the natural curvature of the lumbar spine is in the opposite direction. So I liken these lumbar vertebrae to people who will have the ability to forward fold, but they won't be able to maintain that position for a long period of time without discomfort. They'll be chafing against that positioning and wanting to return quickly to a more open, outward-facing mode of life. At the top of the spine, we have the cervical vertebrae. These very small vertebrae have tremendous flexibility. So these are people who might be able to swing into a forward fold and accommodate the order to shelter a little bit more easily than other parts of the spine. They have tremendous flexibility of thinking to embrace different opinions in rapid succession. These differing amounts of movement and responsiveness to the call of the body to a forward fold are appropriate given the different assignments of each of these areas of the spine. It would be easy for the lumbar spine to look accusingly at the thoracic spine or at the sacrum and say, "You're not putting as much effort into this forward fold movement as I am." Or for the thoracic spine or the sacrum to look at the cervical spine and say, "Whoa, you're moving too far and too fast. You're having too extreme of a response." Dr. Nicole LaPera, also known as the holistic psychologist, talks about how as human beings we'll have a tendency to be intolerant of differences and an inner drive of wanting to believe that everyone is having the same experience that we are, whether it's in our perception of the moment or our emotional experience. And Dr. LaPera talks about the remedy being cultivating a practice of allowing other people to have their differing views and experiences of the world. And this is my point today. The ultimate picture of unity is not for every person to respond in exactly the same way to the same degree, just as it would be inappropriate for all the different areas of the spine to respond in exactly the same way and to the same degree to a forward fold. And so concomitantly, we can grow a reverence toward one another and the way that we are responding to this forward fold movement. So join me on the next video to talk about spinal extension, the next of the 6 movements of the spine. I'm Jen Gaskin, exploring Kogurti.